Hey everybody, I'm going to show you what I've done in day 11 working on rogue tanks. I've created the status screen that shows your progress after you lose. It'll also be the one that displays your progress after you win, but I don't really have a win state yet. So let's go ahead, I'll go ahead and take out one of these guys and beat a level, and then I'll lose the next level. There we go. Let's check move speed. Take out that guy, and I lose. Okay, so here's the status screen. So up here you see it has player 1, and it has my move speed. This is my actual move speed value. Armor was 0 because I died. Max bullets was 3, bullet speed 4, bullet bounce is 0 because it was no bounce at all. Reload time is 1, that's actually 1 second. And then shots taken, I took 12 shots. Enemies destroyed 2. Damage taken 3. And then loops completed 1. How much time I spent? It was 28 seconds. All I have to do is I click anywhere or hit enter or press A on the controller and it'll just go back to the title screen. Now that's not much, but I've already adapted it for up to 4 players. So when you play the campaign mode with 4 players, each of you can see how well you did. In this case, only player 1 took any shots, everyone else is 0. Damage taken 3 might look like it would always be the same for 3, but remember, if you get like an armor upgrade and then you die, then you can see how much damage you took. Armor will always be 0 if you died, which means if you get to the end of the game and like maybe 2 players finished but 1 player didn't, then that person will be at 0 armor, where the surviving players will have armor at the end. Green bars are to represent improvements. The red bar is not the limit. In fact, you can increase it past the limit. It should be like as far right as it is to the left. The red bars are kind of arbitrary right now. It's just like the middle area. Let's go ahead and I'll show you the code on how I did all that. I had to go down to the ending thing. So I have this code already where if there are no players, right here, menu level equals status. That is my progress report at the end when you lose. And then I have this check like if confirm, or if you click the mouse, it'll basically fade to black and it'll put you back on title screen, is what that ultimately does. There's not too much to do with the step code, but rather the draw code is where the bulk of it is, because I have this case, the switch case for status, for the menu. I have these points of reference, like space is 30, so like there's 30 pixels in between each line. And then the top is where it's going to start, which the Y is the middle of the vertical. And so I raise it up 300. Oh, this is the bar length, which is 360 is like the full width of what the bar could be. I need that as a point of reference because the green bar is calculated by taking player 1's stat and then dividing it by what the maximum could be. So if they picked that upgrade on every level, and I'm assuming right now there's going to be 20 levels before you reach the end. So that's basically a fraction of the player's stat divided by the total possible that stat could be times the bar length, and that'll get you how much of the bar should be colored in. Right above that, I have it draw a red bar, or maroon, I guess technically, and then afterwards, on top of the red bar, it draws the green bar, and then it draws the stat on top of that, because that's how the draw order works. It'll draw things in order, going one line at a time. So if you have something drawn below, it'll draw on top of the thing that was drawn previously. Now, I did have to redo another program in order to do this. As you can see, it has this array here, stats P1 slot 0, stats P1 slot 1. So before I had a revive system where you could revive a fellow player. When a player dies, there's an option to revive them with one of your upgrades. Before, I had a system where when you picked an upgrade, it would go into a list. It would just be a list of all your upgrades, and when you revive, it would go through the list and run those scripts again to apply your upgrades to your new player. That was needlessly complicated. What I do now is that I have another script that is simply update stats. The main game object has an array for each player, the 4 players, and it just tracks what all their stats are. Move speed, armor, max bullets, damage taken, enemies destroyed, shots fired. It just tracks all of those, and it updates whenever you pick an upgrade, which would be at the end of each level, and then also updates when you die. So that's mainly for like tracking like enemies destroyed and shots fired, stuff like that, damage taken. Those 3 at the end can't be updated only at the end of the level. It has to be updated when you die as well in order to keep those stats tracked. And so now when you revive someone, it'll just create the player and then give you those stats in that array. Because right here, you start a new game, it creates the player objects. In order to aid the revival status, if room is title, then update stats. Basically override the game object stats with the initial stats. If you're not on the title screen, you're basically using the revive function, so you're going to get the stats that you revived with. And yeah, I think that is mainly it. It's not a whole lot to talk about, I guess, because it's just a status screen, but it took a lot of extra steps because it's creating a whole new system. I had to redo the revive system. If you have any more detailed questions about any of these things, you can feel free to ask me in the comments below so I can, explain more in detail how I did some of this stuff. Or if you have any questions about anything in any of the videos, you can go ahead and ask me. Let me know what you want to see more of in these devlogs so that they can be of most help to you in developing your own projects. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.